at the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation ALC Legislative Conference. I'm excited because I got a special guest with me today. And this is Miss Kafi Joseph. She is the Director of Development and Projects? Partnerships. I know it started with the P, with the Emily J.T. Perez Foundation. And I had not heard of you, but I'm excited because someone within the organization was like, you gotta hear what we're doing. You gotta hear the story. So tell our audience about the foundation and what it is that you do.
Absolutely. So our foundation is meant to preserve the legacy of Second Lieutenant Emily J.T. Perez. Emily was a West Point graduate. She was a part of the class of 2005, which is the 9/11 class. That class was in their freshman year when 9/11 occurred. She was a standout Division I athlete. She was the first minority woman to hold a rank that she held at West Point, which is Command Sergeant Major, which is the second highest ranking person at the time. So just an amazing, wonderful person. I knew her well when we were cadets, and she also had the unfortunate distinction of being the first Black woman officer killed in combat. She was delivering much needed medical supplies on a convoy in Iraq on September 12, 2006, so 18 years ago today. Within a year of her untimely death, her parents started this foundation. And the foundation was aimed at providing scholarships and support for Black and Latina young women. A few years ago, her parents asked some of us, her classmates and friends who are also Academy grads, to help them continue to preserve her legacy, and we gladly did that. And so this year marks the year that we've come back and reboot a lot of the programming. And so the programming that we conduct is under the name Emily's Way. And the significance of that is after she was killed on the base in Fob Kalsu in Iraq, they named a street Emily's Way. So it's one after the space that was named in honor of her, and also to carry on her values of authenticity, brilliance, bravery, composure through our programming for Black and Latina young women and Black and Latina women veterans.
So you're doing a reboot of this. First of all, I wish I would have known. I'm mad that I didn't know the story, but I'm glad that you're here to talk about it, and that you're a part and her family is doing so much to keep her memory alive. Talk about some of the things that you've done and the success of the program that you have.
Yep, absolutely. So our programming, Emily's Way, we have two main programs. We have a summer camp for young women. So
how old?
They are middle school age girls. So
okay.
we say as long as you're in middle school, you're the right age. And we also have the opportunity to bring down West Point women cadets to come down and help us run that camp. So
I'm going to interrupt you there. When we talk about when the number of women or Black women, what do those numbers look like?
So women started at any of the service academies. The first class graduated in 1980, and there were 2 Black women in that class. I graduated in 2003. We had 18 of us to graduate, and I think most recently I saw a beautiful inspirational video on TikTok where there were about 41 Black women in those classes, but the numbers are still relatively low. I'm number 357 ever in the 200 and some odd year history of the military academy. So we're there. We're in small numbers, but we're mighty.
Wow. Okay. I wanted to get that. I know I interrupted you about the program, but keep talking about the program and the success.
So we have an opportunity to bring women cadets down, ideally Black or Latina young women, but really any women cadets, to be that example to these campers at who Emily was, who they can be, and also to have those West Point cadets get an opportunity to lead. But we do leadership programming. We fall in on the Lean In Girls leadership curriculum. We teach that along with the cadets, and then in the morning there will be a lesson on pushing past your fears, and in the afternoon they'll be on a high ropes course, doing an obstacle. And so we just had a really amazing time with the young girls, and so with that programming, measure their confidence levels in the ability to defy stereotypes as young girls and women, and seeing what leaders look like, the ability to identify what their strengths are and actually figure out how they can leverage that where they are, whether it's on the basketball team, whether it's the hobbies that they have, or anything that they want to do beyond that. And we saw across the board in our surveys this year 30% increase in their confidence between the beginning of the camp, at the beginning of the week, and the end of the camp.
What are some of the things that you see that they're dealing with, like when they're coming to you, that you're helping to rebuild?
Yeah, I think one of the things is just what leadership looks like, and thinking about what it means to be a leader in this world We see a lot of images that may be primarily men and maybe primarily white men at that, and so showing them that that doesn't have to be the norm, and even just the time that we're in, seeing that our presidential candidate is a black woman or someone that looks like them, right? So those are some of the things, and then other times just confidence. I mean, a lot of young girls are, we created a safe space for them, and I know that word gets used a lot, but at the beginning of the camp, we took sticky notes and we asked you, what do you want to see from us? How can we help you in this week? What do you want from yourselves? And it was things like, I want to be confident in speaking up. I want to feel like I can share what I'm thinking and not be judged, right? So just a lot around being judged, feeling they have to be a certain way, and breaking down stereotypes. And we just had conversations in the room and gave them different techniques, allowed them to talk. And then the cadets, you know, we're old to them, but the cadets are 18, 19, 20 years old.
Right.
And so just creating, you know, a space for them to feel comfortable and confident in sharing that.
Can you share a moment that was kind of special with you or any of the young ladies that you've been dealing with that really kind of like made you feel like that's why I'm here?
I think that one thing that was really interesting was we were going through the pre-camp surveys that the parents submit, and then we were going through them again at the end, and you know, we didn't know the young ladies before they were names as they were coming in, then we got to know them. And so I won't say the name, but I remember reading one where the mom said, please keep my daughter, she's not a strong swimmer, please, you know, ensure that she has floats on or something, or keep her out of the water. And I was like, the same young lady that I saw, you know, in there splashing around, playing, you know, doing all of these things, right? And so it was just something about being around a group of peers who were like, I'm gonna do this, you can do it too, right?
Yeah.
Today is a pool day, let's try it out. Even that, like we saw them, you know, step confident and step into that confidence.
That's so important when we talk about our young people today, and people are always, sometimes adults talking about what they're doing wrong, right? But not looking at sometimes the potential that they have, or what's lacking that can help get them over so that they can make the right choices. This is a wonderful program that you all are creating. If people want to come on and they want to join, like, what are the qualifications? Is there something specifically that you're looking for, and where can people go if they're like, I like this,
yes,
I want a child in it?
Yes, so our website is emilysway.org, and we simply have an application process. We are small right now, we're working to scale it, and so generally it's first come, and we look at it that way. And then we have the other part of our programming, if I'm able to share.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that supports Black and Latina women veterans. And so this is around mental health and resilience. And so we call it our Resilience Boot Camp. And in our first year of hosting it, all of our coaches and people who were hosting it were also West Point women grads. We're talking about licensed psychiatrists, clinical social workers, mental health professionals who came in. But we created this around the senses, so around sight, around sound, like listening to music, around scent, smell, oils and different things, and creating environments and spaces that you can go to bring yourself down, to calm yourself. And we also created community, and we held that's a one-day event, and at the end, there's a roadmap that you create for, you know, how do I want to help myself? Because we already know that being a woman in this world is tough. Being a woman of color is even more difficult in some ways, and then you add the trauma that some people experience in military service, and not a lot of people can necessarily relate. And so many women felt like being in a room with people who have come from where I've come from. Some were new to the area, so they found community, and we saw an improvement when we finished that of those sessions, where people felt like, I understand now what kind of plan I can create for myself when I'm in these stressful scenarios. And then similarly, people were like, I am connected. I have a community now, someone to help me be accountable, you know, to get through these things. It was just so tremendous, you know, to have those women together in that space, and to create that space for them to be able to share and connect.
So for those who are saying, like, I want to support, right? Where can they go for is it the same website if they want to support or get involved? What are you looking for as an organization? What are your needs? I know you're servicing and helping other people, but sometimes we don't look at the organizational needs.
Yeah, that is a great question, and it's part of why we came to the CBC. We are in awareness building mode. So we want people to be aware of who Emily is and her story, what our foundation is doing, and capacity building is where we are. Each one of us who said yes to Mr. and Mrs. Perez, we will help you continue on your daughter's legacy. Her legacy is our legacy. We're doing it as volunteers. So, we are here today, and some of us are taking work calls, or we're taking time off of work to go run the summer camp or run the boot camp. And so the first thing is building capacity so that we have people who can do this full time and be committed. And then our programming is important. So any of those things, if people have facilities or programming that can support our programming, we're looking for that. Obviously, it's always funding and donors or sponsors. If people are interested in what we're doing matches their corporate social responsibility goals, we would love to connect. I am in that role as the Director of Development and Partnerships, but on our website, folks can reach out and tell us that's what they're looking for, and we'll gladly set up time to connect. Yeah.
Thank you, Kafi. Give people the website one more time so they can have the information.
Absolutely. It's www.emilysway.org, and we look forward to hearing from you and getting your support or supporting you if you're one of those young women or women veterans.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on AURN. I want to keep in contact to see how everything is going. And it's just amazing the work that you're doing. I know her parents are happy that they have the support that you all are providing for this foundation. So we'll be following you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks so much for having us.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks.